Righty. So I think I'm live. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone in the Caribbean. It is a beautiful Thursday morning here in the Caribbean. And of course, I'm streaming from Trinidad and Tobago. And one of the first things I want to just make sure that you are hearing me and seeing me. So if you are on live, you're hearing me and seeing me, let me know that you're hearing and seeing me clearly and okay. We are live on Facebook, we are live on LinkedIn, and we are live on YouTube. And let me just kind of check my channels a little bit and see if I am indeed live. And I am live on Facebook, good. And let me just check my LinkedIn page. So good morning, everyone. All right, let me see my LinkedIn page. And once I can see that I'm live there, I think I'm good to go. All right, good. So I'm looking live on LinkedIn as well. All right. So again, I'm saying I don't want to just say good morning. I always say that. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone that is joining us. I believe there's Rosie. Hi, Rosie. Rosie is on LinkedIn. Um, it really depends on where you're joining me from around the world, and the topic that is at the discussion is, of course, a global one and one that impacts global firms. So, good morning to everyone. I'm seeing Claire as well. Everybody on LinkedIn. I hope that's Sancha. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Sancha, good morning. So LinkedIn is up and running this morning here. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are joining me from. I'm very, very excited about this live as we talk about something that we don't get to talk about enough and something that impacts myself as a marketer, which is really cybersecurity and cyber resilience and how this impacts all organizations and their reputation and their branding. And I think just in some basic conversations with managers and directors and CEOs and other entrepreneurs, this is an area that, we don't have enough information on, right? And within the last 3 years or so, we have seen, and I have seen, at least in Trinidad and some examples in the Caribbean, where organizations have actually had cyber breaches or hacks, right? We say, we call it hacks. I'll ask the expert the best way to refer to it. But we tend to have, we are having these issues. We are transforming more and more digitally. We're in a new phase with artificial intelligence, and it makes sense that um, more organizations, more executives invest in understanding the risks that are associated with, of course, the whole realm of cyber security. And of course, I'm particularly interested in it as a marketer because when organizations go through certain types of incidents, that naturally affects the organization's brand and its reputation. And so, we're going to have an interesting and robust discussion this morning. And so, with that, I want to bring in Gamal, and I'll remove this here and let's set it up here. So good morning again, Gamal, and I want to welcome you to
Good
our
morning.
live, and I give you the floor to introduce yourself and tell the audience where you are from. We have quite a bit of persons online already, so take it away.
And good morning, Debbie. Thank you for having me. Good morning to the Caribbean, to my Caribbean brothers and sisters out there. I'm happy to be joining you. I'm coming to you live from Nassau, Bahamas, where we are embracing the beautiful warmth of the sun and the Caribbean blue sky. So I'm really happy to be here and to share some of my insights into the wonderful arena of cyber security with a focus on cyber resilience. So I look forward to, as Debbie indicated, a very exciting and robust conversation.
Wonderful.
I
So
hope I
thank
can
you so
share some
much.
in cyber initiatives.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So I
Uh,
want to, I just said
so
hacks, and
how
I
do you
said
want to start
hacks.
the conversation, Debbie?
Well, I wanted to. So first, I'll let the audience know we have a little bit of delay because the Bahamas is all the way
I
to the
think we're
top of
lost,
the.
losing the connection.
Yeah, I'm now
Are you
saying
still
that
there?
I am still here. I'm still here. I'm hearing you okay. Is it delayed on your end? Just making sure you're hearing me and seeing me. A person's hearing us and seeing us, just let us know in the chat. It will be great. Trinidad is at the bottom end of the Caribbean chain of Caribbean islands, and Bahamas is up there at the top, right? So I'm hoping that we persons are still hearing us and seeing us. Let me know in the comments. And Gamal, let me know if you're hearing me. I think
I
I'm
can hear
hearing
you
you.
quite well. I can hear you quite well.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I can hear you
perhaps
quite well.
good. The first thing perhaps I want to ask you is because I said things like hacks and cyber attacks and so on. What is the correct jargon that we should be using?
No, it is exactly that. It is an attack. It is in many instances it is a planned out attack. It's not random. It's not something that a hacker or a cyber terrorist just randomly targets you. And I say that in the initial phase, it's where the individuals would go out and try to gather information, but it is very strategic, the attack, and how they decide to utilize your information. So attack, hacker, they are the correct terms that one would use to identify or address how you're being approached or how you're being targeted for a cyber infiltration.
All right. So, tell me what exactly is the risk? What exactly is the risk posed to our organization in the event of a successful attack, right? A successful cyber attack, because I think depending on your space within an organization, there are preconceived ideas of what could happen or what is the risk. So tell us what are some potential risks that can occur if an organization suffers from some sort of cyber attack.
Fundamentally, the primary risk is data breach, and that's just information. Persons get access to your information, and that information could be across multiple industries, be it healthcare, be it the banking sector, be it some regulatory group, the power company, social media. It's data, it's information, and information is power, but information always also has some great value. So data breach is perhaps the most important, and from that, now we can filter the different types of data. Like I said, now I have data about your financial situation. Where you have your bank account, how much is on your bank account, where the bank's located, how do I get this data regarding access to your passwords, those types of things. So that's perhaps the second one. And then obviously, if you're in business, another one would be reputation. And if we go back and we use the financial sector as an example, uh, that's reputation. Can you trust this organization to keep your information private? So that
Hmm.
impacts so that's important as well. So data collectively across the board, depending on what type of data it is, then it usually hackers attempt to go after finances, or and like I said, that impacts your reputation. If they don't go after finances, because that's not the only reward, they can also just determine to disrupt your business. They can take down your website, for example.
Yes.
So if you're a Facebook or a Twitter, or you're just a government service that's providing certain services via the internet, they can disrupt your business operation by knocking down your servers, disrupting your page, taking your website down, cloning your website. So those are the types of risks. If you're regulated, for example, healthcare, or you're a healthcare provider, maybe you are providing some type of service to the healthcare. Similarly with financial services, or you're in audit, or you're in the accounting area, your industry may be regulated. So the regulator now would have established certain rules for you to operate. And now there may be some consequences, because the regulator is saying, hey, you're not up to speed as to operating. And so we now need to perhaps penalize you because of this attack. Uh, that's about five. There are quite a bit more, but I think I can sum it up in actually five. Actually, another five. There's intellectual property, for example, supply chain. Again, I'm trying to
Oh,
paint a picture where we see the connectivity with it. It's not
yes.
just one thing. It could be a multiple of risks that are impacting depending on your operation. If you are providing some type of service, and you're dependent upon another provider to give you resources or give you raw material, that could be disrupted. So there are multiple of risks that can be impacted by a cyber attack. It isn't just financial; it's multiple types of risks that are impacted by that. Yeah.
Wow, you list a whole bunch there, and a lot that I have seen. And as
Right.
a marketer, of course, your website going down. I've had clients who have had attack on the social media platforms. The exact same thing you said there about duplication of the website.
Correct.
The examples of what we had here in Trinidad were actually data disruption. So there was an extraction of customer information, which of course again leads to that kind of fall in consumer confidence of those
Exactly.
brands.
Exactly.
So you've listed very practical examples, quite scary in nature, of course, when you think about how wide and where the risks are so associated, which actually leads to the next question. Do you
Right.
think there are areas of business that are more vulnerable in the Caribbean, and why, and maybe how we could look at those things? So are there any areas of the business or operation that you think are very high risk, and particularly that you've seen with Caribbean businesses or Caribbean brands?
Most definitely. I would say, the bread and butter across the Caribbean, from the Bahamas all the way down to Trinidad, is tourism, and tourism and
Mm,
hospitality. We have coming
mm.
into our countries, into our jurisdictions, a multitude of different nationalities, different wealth levels. And so this is a ripe field for the hacker, who may not be able to get information from that person in their corporate sector or in their home country. But now they're coming into that hotel, they're pulling out their credit card, and now you have access to all of the information via that credit card. So
Wow.
tourism and hospitality in particular, we have cruise ships coming in, where persons are coming in and they decide to buy just a souvenir, and they pull out that credit card, and that credit card is perhaps is scanned. Okay, so that's a fundamental area for the Caribbean, that we need to ensure that our various providers, and this is from the small mom and pop boutique hotel to the, I guess, the bigger name brands that are out there. We want to ensure that
Right.
they're practicing good privacy, data privacy, information security practices to secure the exotic resorts, and or adults only type resorts. Do you want that customer's information seeping out to someone who may now decide to extort them because they have pictures, they have access to what they did while they were in country? So tourism and hospitality, definitely,
Wow.
definitely,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And similarly, and like I said, mom and pop, the Airbnb market, which has become very big in around the world,
Yes.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
coming in. What are we doing with that data that we're collecting on those individuals? You know,
Wow.
and another area, of course, would be, I think, the financial services. Again, the Caribbean has been, I guess, is seen as a, I don't know if the right word is tax haven. That's to be debated, right? But notwithstanding,
Yes.
you have expats who determine that I want to now put finances or invest in this particular region, and again, for that to occur, we need to get access to your information. We need to see what are your source of funds, what type of transactions, who you're affiliated with, and all of this information is now being pooled. So how are the local representatives, the law firms, the accounting firms, the government entities that are collecting the data to screen these individuals, how are they protecting the data? So
Ah.
these are the things that we need to look at, that are, I think, are prime industries or professions that require, that are high risk and that would be targeted. If I was, which I'm not, if I was a hacker, if I was a cyber terrorist, these are some of the areas that I would target, because I think that they are low hanging fruit, in my opinion, and this is from my experience in the field.
Right. Right. Okay. This is very, very interesting because you make mention of some. I think there that really means consumers also need to be more aware and also ask questions as well, because you mentioned the fact that how are organizations protecting consumer information, protecting consumer data, etc. So consumers also need to be more aware and maybe be, I guess, more vigilant and ask questions along those lines, right? Um, Let me ask you here, and there's a comment here, and maybe I could put up the comment first. Harriet Skeet says, this is an excellent and timely topic. We have been slow to move in the Caribbean in regard to cyber resilience, as it is of the utmost importance in, of course, today's digital age, where cyber incidents can, of course, disrupt businesses and organizations in significant ways, right? So it is important, she's saying, that we need to have a comprehensive strategy that focuses on preventing cyber threats, right? And making organizations more ready and responsive and so on, right? So Harriet, we appreciate your comment. It's quite a mouthful.
Yeah,
Um, you know, it's
no,
quite
no.
a mouthful, and I think persons sometimes don't know where to start.
Yeah, Harriet, she is very much on point, and I think it speaks to the topic. It speaks to resiliency. What happens in the Bahamas. If the Bahamas is targeted, that means for no reason should Barbados or Jamaica or British Virgin Islands or Trinidad or St. Kitts and Nevis. There's no reason why those jurisdictions should not understand that they have also been targeted. Perhaps the attack has not come to the forefront, but like I said, when a hacker, a cyber terrorist, or a cyber criminal looks at a market, just like if we go back to business and marketing, what you do, Debbie, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking at, hey, what are my rewards and my return on this initiative? So I'm looking at the Caribbean. I'm looking at what's happening in the Bahamas, what's happening in Barbados, what's happening in Trinidad, and I'm going to ensure when I make my attack to get the best return, I'm going to target all of those jurisdictions because in many instances they have the same practices, they have the same similarity in culture, the
True.
similarity in behavior, the buying trends. Some jurisdictions we say peas and rice, and some jurisdiction says rice and peas. And this cultural connectivity cannot be
Yes.
ignored. And if you're looking at it from a strategic standpoint, as a criminal, with that criminal mindset, I'm gonna use that strategy across the board because it's some of the same commonalities. So that makes my attack more efficient, my targeting more efficient, and so I get the best return on my attack. So we have to appreciate that across the region, across the region.
Yes.
You
I
know.
think so. I think so. It's true. There's so many similarities, and that makes us all targets in that way.
Yes,
So I open up the floor for any more comments and or questions for Gamal. And Gamal, as we were saying, that this definitely might need a part 2 or a part 3. As we begin
certainly.
to
So
wrap up and close, I want to at least leave businesses, CEOs, executives with some sort of starting point and or solution. So again, just to keep it kind of simple, what do you think, or some tips that you could provide for businesses right now if they want to begin to reduce this cyber risk? What are some tips and advice?
you have to build that front line. So that means awareness training both for your staff and your customers. And when I say training, awareness training, not a cyber course, little points and little tips that keeps that at the forefront. So certainly training and awareness, it has to be kept at the forefront across the business. And like I said, customers and staff need to be kept aware of the threats and how they can be targeted. I think another thing important to the business is regular backups because there will be. It isn't a matter of if you're going to. It's a matter of when. So
Hmm.
you have to be conscious of that. So I would definitely suggest regular backups, and you back up the backup, so to speak. So that's definitely one of the immediate two. I think two immediate things that can be done. Training and
Mm-hmm.
awareness programs that are run across the board for both staff and customers, and
Right.
certainly backup systems that allow, in the event that you're breached, in the event that you are attacked, you can quickly recover your services and bring them back up on another platform. What happens, and
Okay.
this again goes to the topic of resilience. Resilience is about that you will be attacked. Resilience speaks to the fact that you are being attacked, but how strong are your second, third line of defenses in that regards to mitigate against the attack?
Right. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I think that's practical because it means learning, right? You have to learn, you have to
Correct.
learn more. And again, I mean, that's a simple one you gave, and I might be guilty of it too, a backup and then a backup for a backup, so
Correct.
those are the things that we have to look at. Okay, so Gamal, before you go, and I think I'm going to definitely be reaching out to you on a part 2, because I think there's so much more that we need to talk about here, and it's critical because it affects, I mean, as you mentioned, everything that you could think of in the organization: your data, your financial data, your marketing, your reputation, your shipping, your supply, your logistics.
Correct.
I mean, you're in just this time, you kind of open up my eyes to things that I wasn't thinking about initially. So tell persons how they can connect with you, how they can reach out to you, what type of work you're doing, your training and your training platform. Just give the audience some more information on you.
Sure. I think the easiest thing is to reach out to me via whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. Is my name Gamal, Gamal Nuri, Newry. I'm on LinkedIn, and that's the quickest and easiest way to get in touch. And via, like I said, Facebook or LinkedIn. Those, and from that we can talk about what initiatives that you're trying to implement into your organization, because businesses may be at different levels or different tiers in their cyber program. Hopefully they do have a cyber program already in place, but how do you make that more efficient? How do you make it more robust, more resilient? So Gamal,
Robust.
Gamal Newry, Newry, and I'm available on LinkedIn. Yep, that's it. I think
Absolutely
that's the easiest thing. Or
fantastic.
you can reach out to Debbie, and Debbie has all of my contacts. And in case you don't, yeah. So that's those are the easiest ways to get in touch.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gamal. This was really really informative, and we could chat again about what else is there to talk about in terms of cyber security and cyber resilience, and how we can really um really help there. Just before we close, Harriet had a few more things. She's saying that you have better password, enable multiple factor or authentication, updating your software, be cautious with your emails, security belts, a Wi-Fi security, and so on. So she kind of just throw in a few more tips there
Sure.
that persons could really use. So Gamal, we will have a part two. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will chat again soon. Take care,
Thank you for
everybody.
having me as well. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.